For 2023, we've updated the Vapor helmet. The Vapor is a pretty iconic product for BD. We came out with the original Vapor in 2013, 14, around that. And at that time, it was sort of like the lightest, fastest, raddest looking. It was the first rad looking climbing helmet, really. So it was a big deal for us to commit to updating this helmet. From 50 feet, it looks really like it did before, perhaps, with the vents and the sort of angular styling. But when you get into it, it's quite different and refreshed. As most people know, if they've had the Vapor, they've seen pictures of the Vapor, it tends to dent, tends to get beat up pretty fast. And that sheet was covering the whole thing. And in the old Vapor, that was a foam that is EPS, which is a styrene, which is really good for protection, but tends to be kind of brittle. But in terms of impact and energy absorption, that was a really good material. A lot of that is still used. What we've learned in the helmet world these days is EPP is a polypropylene-based foam, and it's similar in its energy absorbing ability, but it's much stronger when it's, deflected. So with the old Vapor, bump up against stuff, it'd take a rock in the head, it would dent, and it stayed dent, or it would crack, and that happened to some people. But at the time, that was a okay trade-off, for the lightest, raddest helmet. Well, now we've got this EPP shell. It still has an EPS puck inside, and then this PC lid. This really protects from that penetration, as well as just generally gives it more durability. So this is going to take small impacts look better in the long run, but also just as safe. It used to be that the Vapor was only CE certified. That was a trade-off that we accepted then. The new Vapor is UIAA and CE certified, meaning it has the increased protection around the lower part of your head and the side impact. So that's the new Vapor. 3 colors. Got the black with the sweet gold logo, the octane, and white. We found the Vapor was this shape that a lot of people really fit well. It seemed like, for some reason, there's a very subtle thing, the shape of the inside, and the Vapor just was really perfect for people. We've maintained that shape and then taken what we knew and had learned about the harness system in the old Vapor. We had this nice cradle around the back that was plastic, and converted it to this softer webbing adjust. So it's really a similar adjustment mechanism, and it stays on your head in a similar way, but there's no hard parts in there. And that's kind of nice. I mean, for me, if you have the old Vapor, or a lot of helmets have this plastic hardware, and you crunch it down, get it good and tight, these little wings stick out, little pieces and parts, they hang up on ropes, they hang up on gear. This is really nice because it's super compact, it's soft, you can't really break it, and stuff, So it's really a much more sort of comfortable, as well as light, and still, of course, we have to pass all the certification, and one of those is roll off and retention. So the harness is all new, but really based on a lot of what we've learned over the years with helmet harnesses. There's foam padding along the top and the front, and then what you find is when you put this on, you're actually not hitting the back because the harness is the rear for your head. So yeah, the foam is replaceable, yeah. And then the helmet clips, the headlamp clips are all replaceable. And rather than having hard clips on the back, we've gone to this elastic band, which is it's kind of a little easier to operate. So the old Vapor was 180 grams in the medium size, small medium size, and the new Vapor is 155. So it's a measurable, meaningful difference. And like, you put it on, if you're used to the old Vapor, or if you just had them in your hands, you would be like, oh yeah, it matters. It is real. This is the pinnacle piece. So for us, we have the Vapor at the top, and that, again, represents this lightest weight. And I would say now it's less of a trade-off for durability. It's still the lightest, but it's gained a lot of durability. That was sort of like the magic that we put into it. We have the Vision, which is the next down. It's sort of a hybrid hard shell, this red one. We have the Capitan, which is a full hard shell, and then the Half Dome is the sort of entry level, or just that really durable hard shell helmet for us. So this is the pinnacle.